Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
I'm going to do something I normally don't do. I'm going to plug our website, and I'm going to plug the ability for you to help support our podcast and radio show by signing up and becoming a BDM member. If you don't know what that is, well, you get free shows, extra shows, and you get private parties that have been rolling out. And this year, we have dedicated ourselves to doing more of these little micro parties. I think you're even planning one that you're like,
Toll
I'm
Road.
doing.
And
It's
a
like,
Coey,
like all set up. He's ready to go.
Well, I haven't even told Tony yet, and but
You're going to freak him out.
I want to do it September 30th on Friday.
Tony, don't freak out.
What's the best time to? I'm just gonna go out there to hang out, come have a beer with me. I'm gonna get some merch from.
Is it a Friday afternoon?
Friday, like
after
7?
the show. After the show, you're gonna buzz out there?
Not after the show. Well, that's too soon. I gotta wait till people get off work, and then like people with families, they had dinner. Or whatever.
7:15.
Yeah, 7.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good. And not too late because it's like, a bunch of dads.
And you haven't been to Toll. Yeah, you have. You've been to Toll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
A beautiful brewery, and I'll be out there on Friday, September 30th, 7. I haven't even planned it
There
yet,
you
but
go.
I'll just that's
like
what
that.
I'll do.
Oh, wow.
I like this. Like a micro promotion.
And then we got new merch, and Daniel was talking about being a BDM.
I got to be better at promoting, man. Like really. Like I'm really not good at it. I never have been good at it. It's kind of like, I don't know if I have linked it subconsciously to money in my brain. Because
it's not funny.
You're
That's
right.
why,
yeah, and I don't like the promotion aspect of this, just like I don't like the banking aspect of this. I don't like the exchange of money, currency. I don't like any of that part.
Yeah.
I just like the stuff that makes me, I'm a child. I just like the stuff that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
The funny stuff.
Because nobody wants to do the, hey, buy my shirts.
Wait a minute. Has anybody
buy
done
my
that?
hats?
Is there a website, buymyshirts.com? Say a buymyshirts.com.
Yeah. I wish we didn't have to talk about it and everybody just bought them.
Yeah, I wish they just
but
knew.
They won't buy them unless we say it.
Isn't it really the listeners' fault that they're too stupid to know that we're like, look, if you
well, they don't know.
Me,
they're like, tell us.
No, they should look at me and be like,
oh,
wow, he looks like a. I wonder if Tom and Dan have any shirts. Of course we do, you idiots. Buy them.
We got Silipints on there.
It's working.
Straw hats, kids' straw hats, new shirts, BDM shirts, Tom and Dan
we
tank
got
tops.
pre-sales.
Yeah, I didn't see. I'm
the
so
minor
bad
league
at this.
baseball pre-sale, mediocre tire shirt.
I'm so bad at this that
Halloween shirt.
I single-handedly engineered a series of baseball fitted, like real
They're
fitted
awesome.
sizing, real fitted custom baseball hats, and I'm not even telling you guys about them. So go to tomanddan.com/merchandise. And you can find everything there. It's all through Shopify. I was going to say we have a great website, but we don't. And I was going to say we have a great app, but we don't. But just use what we have. Use what we have, you idiots.
It's good. It's good.
Yes, it's good. Tom and Dan, it's good. Buyourhats.com.
What do you want to talk about?
My daughter and her constant... She's always bullying me, every day she comes up to me and then does the thing where she puts her hand on top of her head and then measures how tall she is according to me. And she'll be like, yep, I'm getting taller. Like, always bullying me.
Well, maybe it's not bullying. Maybe she's just pointing out reality. Because that's what I tell my wife.
Look at this guy, Sam.
You're taking it as bullying, but she is just like... I'm getting taller. You're short, so now we're getting equal.
No, because of my back pain, I'm actually getting smaller.
Oh.
You can ask Sam. When I walked over to Publix with her on Monday, I thought she was going to have to carry me home.
That happens when you get older.
You lose.
Shrink.
You're only 46 years old. You're not old.
That's what the doctor...
He's almost 50.
I am almost 50.
Tom Brady's 45 years old.
Yeah, but taller people, better life.
He's got stem cells.
Can I get stem cells? Isn't that what that company does? Is that what that company does here?
Didn't Andrew's grandfather, 90, he walked the Appalachian Trail?
Oh, yeah, he does
90
it every
years
year.
old.
He does it every year.
My pop-up was still riding his airboat at 89. He was, in the Everglades.
Andrea's granddad is 99 and has moved on from doing the Appalachian Trail. Now he's reconfiguring and preserving an Indian burial ground single-handedly with his girlfriend.
Where at?
Out in near Ocala, in the forest, where there would have been they found an area and it was half Indian and then half, I guess, like an older
Settlement of some
yeah,
sort?
like an older settlement, like an area where people live. And
he's digging it up himself?
He's being really careful, but he goes very slow. He gets out there with the Columbia gear on and the big hat, and he puts all the stones back up and makes sure and repairs them if they're broken, like the vandalism. If somebody stomped them, he'll repair.
How do is
It's
he
awesome.
just because he's like
Yeah, and his girlfriend-
occupying his time?
Yeah, he's occupying. This is what he does before he dies.
That's good. At least you're doing something that's bettering
And
everything.
he'll find old
That's
Florida books. He'll find old books on Florida, and then he'll preserve them and then get them in the right hands, like deliver them to the right library. And he's like he's all about Florida history. He's all about preserving the state. Good person, really good person.
See, I'm so cynical that if I'm ever old and someone suggests that we, do anything in Florida, I'll just scream, "This will all be underwater," and then longer than that, the sun will burn this whole earth up.
Yeah, but not if we're coming in water. It'll just be hot water.
So I'm doing a lot of work for the inevitable ash.
So let's go back to what I was originally telling you. I was originally telling you that Maisie and her mom, I'll say Andrea as well, they continuously bully me. Maisie's new bully last night is her new thing is to try and find tongue twisters that I can't say. I'd never heard of this one before, but as I was going to bed, she's like, "I bet you can't say toy boat 3 times fast." And I'm like, "Yes, I can." And she's like, "Bet me money." That's her thing. Bet me money.
That's your daughter.
I've been saying for years, this is your daughter. No one believes me, but hey, she's all into athletes. She loves the gambling. So she goes.
Except she couldn't say toy boat 3 times in a row either.
Yeah,
She can't.
I'm sure
She
can.
absolutely can't. So she
Yeah.
really might be your daughter.
And
Like, she couldn't do it.
She's organized, smarter,
Can you do it?
independent. She's got a lot of traits.
Can you do the toy boat?
toy boy? No.
Yeah, you can't even say what. I couldn't
Toy
either.
boy, toy
You did
boy.
the same thing I did. Toy boat, toy boat, toy. Say I can't do it. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. I end up sounding British. I go toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
Yeah.
Can you do it, Sam?
Toy boat, toy boat. No.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
And then Maisie laughs
boy.
and she laughs as I put $5 in her effing piggy bank.
Well, you should have known that the fact that she even is challenging you with this means that she heard it from somewhere, which means that it's something that's hard to do.
Yeah, but I normally ace all of them.
Like,
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that'll make my butter bitter.
But
see,
that-
I can do all that stuff all day long, but I can't say
That's
toy boat.
alliteration.
yeah,
Toy
yeah,
boat.
yeah.
That's
Toy
not
boat, toy
boat because it's so similar of like sounding.
Toy boat. This is where this is what the shows become. We say toy boat on it now. That's what we do.
So this morning, actually this happened yesterday. I saw my neighbor standing on his front yard, looking up at the trees, and then I was out
trees.
I was out in my front yard tinkering
The
around.
ones you want to trim?
Yes.
It's your perfect dude. This is the perfect time for you to go out there. And I saw you noticing the trees.
Well,
funny you should notice them.
I walked over and I just said hi, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm having a tree service coming to my house tomorrow."
But they're extending the trees. They don't make them smaller. It's this new service where they make the limbs longer.
And he's like, apparently, he's like removing this big camphor tree in his front yard that I guess has.
Can we change the name of the camphor tree? Because every time somebody says that, I go, camphor. That's like cancer.
And
I think of cigarettes.
They are invasive to Florida, so it's kind of like.
Let's just call them cancer trees then.
So anyway, he's like, I'm taking out this tree in my front yard, and he's got this mega. I don't know trees
I have
too much.
a cyst on my leg.
Maybe the Twitch chat room knows. It's called like a gum something, like a gum tree or something. Dude,
Gumshoe.
Wait, gum tree? Isn't that
the diameter of this thing is like 10 to 12. It is insane.
Is it a black gum tree?
It may be, but
Fresh Gardenia's in our Twitch chat room. Oh, you can watch the show. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
anyway, so that told me they.
There are sweet gums and black gums.
It's a
apparently.
sweet gum. That's what it is.
I don't feel comfortable saying black gums.
it's
I don't feel comfortable saying that.
it's a sweet gum, and
Sweet gum's fine.
the damn thing is gigantic. I mean,
Fiddly gum? There's a fiddly gum.
no, I remember him. His mom was out there, which his mom.
Fiddly gum's mom was out there father? What, have you gone nuts?
His mom was my age, which really got me because I related to him like I was closer to his age, like when he was doing the hibachi party. Like
Who the hell are you talking about?
my neighbor, the good-looking neighbor that mows his lawn with the shirt off, like that movie where then my wife looks out the window.
Zac Efron.
Yeah. It really. I'm not joking. That happens. He pushed the lawnmower, ripped.
Yeah.
But Thor ripped.
I love it.
Anyway, and then his mom's my age, so I was talking to his mom. His mom's into plants.
Hey now.
But
old young.
No. Well, it got me because I was like, how is your mom? You're like my age or around my age, and like I thought I was closer to your age.
Well,
Anyway.
I know, like, you know what sucks is I have a 7-year-old, and I meet a lot of dads my age that have like they'll be like, oh, wow, hey, love the show. I'll be like, oh, man, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, me and my son, he just got out of the Army. He loves listening. I'd be like, just got out of the Army? What are you, retiring at 40? How old are you?
Yeah. So, Florida guys.
They start them young. They start them young around here.
Oh, yeah.
We do things with our willies.
I mean, we know grandpas at our age.
Yeah.
Like, grandpa?
I know.
Anyway, so.
I don't want to be a young-ass grandpa, though, man.
He was telling me about the tree service, and he was like, so they're going to be doing a lot of work in the backyard. So there's going to be a lot of chainsaws.
So if your wife is going to do her normal nude sunbathing, I'd advise against it because there will be minorities on premises.
So then I took it as my opportunity. I was like, hey. How about if you like, and I started showing him, I'm like, there's this limb that's blocking the sun to my greenhouse.
Oh, you're trying to put an addendum on the end of it and get your stuff done.
So then I was like, how about if you, like, they're already going to be here taking the sweet gum.
Well,
and
what's
the
in
whole
it
thing.
for him? You got to give him some money.
No, I will, but it won't be as much as if I hired a tree service myself.
Right, because they're already out there.
Yeah, exactly. They're already out there.
Yeah.
So, but
it's like what I like to do is like when my friend's going to the doctor, I like to hide in his bag and then pop out and be like, wait a minute, look at my wart. Look at this wart. Is it cancer?
I've tried that at my kids' doctors, but they do not want it to give you their advice. They value it.
I did a joke with Maisie's. Maisie has a hot pediatrician, and I tried that move on her. I may have been drunk.
But anytime Mo comes and any of our sponsors, I'll ask them their advice. I get their professional advice.
That's the difference between.
Is that cheesy?
Yeah,
is that bad?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Do they look at it like I'm scamming them?
Well, they just look at it like you're a non-genuine horrible person. Like you're selfish.
It's just the buddies asking.
But no, they look at you like you're a only think about yourself, selfish, horribly selfish person.
So then he said, "All right, I'll let you, when they're here, I'll
let you know so you can come out and do the dirty work and talk to the guys."
Yes, yeah. So you can talk to the guys. But then, so I was like,
"But you didn't want that. You wanted him to do it."
Well, because if I do it,
they're gonna charge you full price.
Yes, Daniel knows that you still got your dad in you.
I am I do still have my dad in me.
You know.
Yeah, I do know. And you know what?
Because if I ask them like, "Hey, can you get this tree?" I was like, "Oh, another customer wants something done." Like, that's back to $500.
Well, I'm just
going
to be honest with you, and I know you thought that this neighbor was your friend,
but
he's not.
No, I think he's too young to understand
the way the world
grift,
works. He's got to know how the world
works.
works.
I don't know how young he is, but I think he's like 25.
Way too young to know how the world works.
I mean, but he just doesn't know, like, especially tree guys. Like, I know tree guys.
Yeah,
like,
we are. Like, if we weren't doing this, we would be tree guys.
Like, first they got a little opioids in their body at all times. They never don't. They're not full on pain pill.
That's why before
they take something in the morning.
Before any tree guy shows up on my property, I take, and I have one.
And that's a foreman.
I have one in my cabinet. I take out one. You're going to look in my cabinet. You looked at my cabinet, there'd be one small Oxycontin pill that looks a little weird. It's a little oblong. It doesn't look like normal ones, and that's because before people come to do any work on my house, I take that pill, I lick it, and I put a little behind my ears. Because they react to that. It's like pheromones for people to do anything around your house. You rub a little Oxycontin behind your ears, and it immediately puts them in a better mood. It's like baking cookies before you sell your house.
So now I don't want the awkward conversation with my neighbor. They're like, hey, if I ask them to do work, they're going to charge me a different rate than if you already. If you're the client,
you're talking down to him if you explain to him how the world works.
No. But
he's going to hate that.
But I'm like, if you, the client, ask them like, hey, while you're here doing all this expensive work, because you know how expensive it is to remove a whole like.
I've done it professionally one time, and I've done it non-professionally one time, and the difference in price was insane.
But I'm like, tree trimming is different than tree removal, like because the heavy parts are on the bottom.
My dad,
Dude, I gotta get that.
My dad did
I
that
don't know if
one
you knew that.
time. Yeah, Dad pulled out a stump, and it was 2 trees and a massive oak tree stump on their property. You know, my parents' house in the back, in that field, and it was close to $8,000 for everything.
Yeah. And
it was bananas expensive
because you have to get multiple dump trucks and dump trailers.
They had a bucket truck or some sort of. They had something out there that looked like the thing that you yank a transmission out of an old '57 Chevy with chains on it.
Oh yeah, cherry picker.
Yeah, they had something out there. So I was young when they did it.
So Sam,
Yeah.
you are the most. I guess you understand what's going on when it comes to talking to other humans. Because me and Daniel will just hide. I will bumble through an awkward experience and then cause myself more harm.
Well, if I need to say it, I'll say it.
Yeah,
but if I don't need to say anything, I will hide.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So anyway, so do I ask my neighbor like, hey, I think if you mention to your tree guys, like, hey, can you just cut this limb? Like and then I'll just pay you whatever he tells you. Like they may even do it for free, but I'll give you $100. Like I want to get out of this for $100 because it's just one limb. And if they're already taking like 2 gigantic trees out, they'll probably just be like, yeah, I'll throw my Jose will get up there, cut that limb. And
that's the best approach. Like coming to your neighbor with money in hand for him to do it is right. I mean, that sounds that sounds like the way to do it.
Here's the problem. Now, I thought about that, and I almost went to 7-Eleven to get cash, but then I remembered the Camel Girl, and then if I have so now I'm wondering if I'm going to create an awkward scenario if I start handing him cash, and he's like, what is this?
Well, just say, I'll pay you. You don't have to hand him cash.
But he doesn't know, and I told him that yesterday, and he's like, well, I don't know how much they'll charge me for that.
Say, don't worry about it.
And, well,
So just ask. I'll worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, it sounds like he doesn't want any part of it. So I would bail on it.
I can't bail. They're already there. It's the perfect scenario because if they come all the way back just to cut this one limb, it's $750. But while they're already there,
and what about your wife asking? What about the lady? What about a lady factor?
That's
deep V to the P.
Yeah, lady factor. I have my wife do this all the time. In fact, we even had.
Okay, call Crystal.
Anytime my wife is at home and we have anything that needs to be done on the house, I prefer it be her, because normally she can kind of bat her eyelashes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it works out better that way.
It goes one way or the other. They either don't take you seriously or they will do you a favor if you're wearing something scantily clad.
Yeah.
That's what I told Crystal.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He's freaking out. Did she hang up on
You got to wear shorts like Miss Parker.
I told her stop forwarding unknown numbers to voicemail.
She hates us.
No, but she forwards all unknown numbers, and for whatever reason, our phone is unknown to her. But I'm like, we called you multiple times. Why is it unknown?
So
anyway,
she knows what she's doing.
So I told her, go out there while they're cutting.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy.
And offer to give them sex.
There's a guy in his truck on pain pills. That's the foreman.
Yeah.
And so you need to saunter over there. With some Gatorade or some waters.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with some Gator Bites.
And then ask.
a 6-pack. Bring a 6-pack.
No. I learned that a long time ago.
It can get out of hand.
No.
Well, yeah.
Not until the work's done.
Yeah. I was told by a guy one time because I wanted to give a 6-pack or like 12-pack.
It's why Genghis Khan didn't release the barrels of rum before the battle was over.
And then he screamed at me, no. He said, there'll be a fall through the roof. We'll get drunk immediately.
Yeah. At the end, it's surveillance
they will
time.
start drinking them now. Anyway, so I told her, go over there to the truck and then, just jack them up a little bit.
1980s lingerie.
And then while they're in the trees already, you got to get them when they're in the trees, because once they get down and take off all the rigging, they're not going to get back
put it back in.
They're going to put it back in. But if they have all the rigging, because the guys get up there and they climb the damn trees with like harnesses and they tied themselves off like rock climbers.
What if you come home and you look in the tree and your wife is in lingerie in the harness in the tree, living with a new man now? She's like, this is me now. I'm in lingerie. I live with Javier in the trees.
And I'm like, I say like, hey, excuse me, sir, there's this tree here.
Oh, is this
Did you just call him Essay?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, essay. Por favor, one momento.
And then
Un momento.
And then definitely don't tell them the greenhouse is for your husband. Say that's for you. You're growing tomatoes in there or whatever.
Through it. I hope they fall.
No, because then it won't do it.
I hope the guy up there is not using a harness and falls through your greenhouse. Dead.
And then if you ask them, they'll get up and then right before lunch, they'll climb up there, chop the tree.
How long do you think that if you had to guess, if you just called the company, they came out, they cut it, it was the one-time deal, how much do you think you'd pay?
I think they charged me $600 plus. Because
that's a lot, man.
Because, and I'm only throwing that out because just to go out and do a job, they don't want it because they have to get on the harness. They have to get. I'm sure it counts against their insurance if they have insurance. But most of the time, like a reputable tree company. So every job they do, there's probably a baseline price. You know what I'm saying? And then so they're just to go out there. That's what people a lot of people that don't understand the service industry is if you call a plumber for a medium job or a small job, there's going to be a baseline $250 just for going out there because it's time in their day there's a
travel time.
Yeah, there's a travel time. You have to go out, you have to assess the problem. So if it's easy, you're paying for their experience and you're paying for them to come out. So I think that's what it is with the tree services. There's our baseline price is X. And I think that probably is at least over $500 because they're not gonna. It's not gonna be $100 or $200. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, only if you find somebody who's doing it on the side.
It doesn't exist anymore.
And it could get you in a lot of trouble if they get killed on your property or injured and somehow.
Yeah. Is
that true? Tracy is in our Twitch chat room right now, and Tracy says that she would reach out to a tree trimming service called Forest Stump Tree Service.
It's called Forest Stump?
Yeah. And that was your old manager at Foot Locker.
It must be a different guy because this guy, I don't think he started a tree service.
Interesting. Forest Stump Tree Service.
In fact, BDM is friends with Forest Stump and then tells him every time we bring him up on the show.
Exactly.
Because I talk,
stop it. Please stop it.
I see him at events and he's like, I told Forrest you were making fun of his name again.
We're not making fun of his name.
But anyway, and for sure when I go home today, they're going to be out there. So I got to send my wife out because if I go there, they're going to be like, "Oh, you want this done?" Well, they're going to tack on $500
lemonade. I thought I'd bring you gentlemen some ice cold lemonade. I was just out there working in my greenhouse that just doesn't seem to get enough sunshine. You know what would really make my day? If you cut that limb down, sir. Something like that.
Crystal just says, "I'm not doing it. You go talk to him."
I'm tired.
Quit. She was just quit trying to get the deal. Just whatever.
I could go out there dressed.
Just ask him to do it and then pay whatever he quotes you. And then I'm like, yeah, but you're not understanding. You're not finding the value in this.
Weren't you just explaiing this to someone? Oh, yeah. We had a listener that came in.
Throw me a hundo and I'll do it.
All right.
Well, that kind of takes the value because then I'm saving $100, but now I'm paying you the $100. So am I actually
I'd rather
saving?
the money go to Sam though.
And
I think it'll be cheaper to pay me.
There's a small percentage chance that the guy doesn't care and he's just going to charge what he charges whoever asks. I'm just trying to get the value wherever I can, because maybe. Does that work anymore where the flirtatious boy or girl flirts their way into cheaper
it works
prices
now more than ever because now everybody's so fluid. You can flirt with anybody. I flirt with my bug man all the time.
No, but I'm saying does flirting actually save you money like it used to? I feel like the prices are more fixed now. There's no wiggle room. You see what I'm saying? The prices are what they are. So
most employees can't affect that anyway.
And it's the lowest possible price because the internet has fixed all the prices because it's so easy to price check now or compare.
For sure.
And then so I feel having cleavage, not having cleavage, me going in booty shorts, nothing will affect the price, right?
Yeah. I think drugs are a gift of some sort would move the needle possibly.
Well, then I'm just paying. I mean, whether it's
you're bribing them,
$100 in drugs or cash, it's $100.
Right? No, I understand. Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm just Sam, have you ever experienced? I mean, the last time that you thought to yourself, the way I look is benefiting me on the price of something,
Oh,
or
that's a good question.
or getting off a ticket, or some sort of benefit?
Free drinks.
Okay. all right.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But who are
That's
they?
probably about it, though.
Who are they coming from? The bartender, or actually someone buying you drinks?
Both.
All right.
Both.
Now, because this never happens to me, or you know,
You don't have listeners buy you a beer? It's
Yeah,
not because
that-
of my looks or anything.
but
It's just
yes,
like, hey,
but-
like the show. Here's have a
Yeah,
beer.
yes, that happens to me all the time. But they're buying it because they're a listener to the show, not because they want to sleep with me.
And I let them do it too.
But
'cause
maybe both. But
man, I gotta tell you what, I appreciate the hell out of a free beer from somebody when they're like, "Hey, I bought you a beer." I love that.
But it's because they're listeners. At no point in my life have I ever been standing at the bar and a random stranger has bought me a drink because they thought I was attractive and wanted to sleep with me. It's never happened.
right.
You know what I'm
me
saying?
neither. Me neither.
So, what happens when someone does that, Sam? Do you feel obligated to then at least talk to them for X amount of time, or is there no obligation required?
I just give a thanks, man.
I like.
okay,
Thanks,
yeah.
man.
Do you have
I
to?
didn't ask for it.
Do you tell
like
them?
that.
It like say or
Thanks, man.
say they're like they're not a listener of semantics and there's no other there's not a they're just doing it because they thought you were
Yeah.
attractive, right?
Okay, like the guy who looked at you. Remember that one time, and like especially with your new hairstyle, you know, he was like, "Has anybody ever said that you're an app?" What did he say? He was like, "You're a Swedish," or he knew like he was like knew your.
Oh, Scandinavian.
Yeah, he knew like your.
Which I am.
Yeah, he knew it. Like,
Oh yeah, his horny senses knew it. but
But he's an older gentleman outside of Cafe Da Vinci.
yeah, there you go.
do you feel obligated to tell the person like I'm married, so this was a waste of your time and money?
Oh,
No, I wear my ring.
Oh, well, I mean,
I would like it though if
Maybe
you were
didn't-
like, "You are disgusting. I would never sleep with you. Gross, yuck."
because is that person then like once they see the ring or like
I never
imagine
look for
they're like,
rings.
oh, it was a waste.
I never look for rings, even when I give
I-
compliments. And even when I was hitting on girls and I was single, I would never look at rings. That whole thing about like, oh, look at her hand. I never did it. I would just look, hot girl, I'm going to hit on her whether she's got a man or not.
yeah. Yeah.
Does that make me a bad person? Should I
I think
look?
that's a lot of men do that. I mean, obviously, people are buying Sam drinks. She's got a ring on. They're not noticing.
My eyes aren't that good, and your hands are small, and I don't
Yeah.
want to work that hard. I'd rather just hit on you.
And I think men aren't that perceptive, so they just
Yeah.
don't notice. Men are so stupid.
Yeah, we're
we
pretty
all-
stupid.
Yeah.
All we see is your boobs. Not
Yeah.
you, Sam, but like
I
women
see
in
the
general.
ring past the
I've
boobs.
never seen your boobs, Sam.
No, but I'm just saying, like, they just see that and they're like, "Oh, buy her a drink. I need to see more boobs."
Yeah, like-
but they don't notice a ring. But the ring is counterintuitive to the boobs
I
because you'll
didn't-
never see him because of the ring.
I mean, even with my wife, like I didn't ask her when I asked her out. I didn't ask her if she was dating anybody at the time. I didn't ask her if she like. I was just like, oh yeah, let's go out. We're going out. You know, like I didn't size up anything. Nothing mattered.
I think I told you guys this, but when I was
I feel like you're about to drop a huge bomb on us, man.
When I was in high school with Crystal and we started hooking up,
Uh-oh.
there was at one point because she,
You know what I miss?
Her prior
I miss,
boyfriend.
I miss kissing when your tongues would swirl around. When you're married and you got kids, you don't swirl your tongues anymore.
No,
You don't even have a tongue anymore. You're lucky if you get a peck kiss when you're passing in two ships passing in the night in the hallway.
Oh my
That's called the
god.
iceberg.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we were hooking up in high school, because Crystal had a former boyfriend, Antonio. Right?
Why do you, dude? You're the only person I know that would bring that up. And he
There was
like
only one. I never had a girlfriend.
was he Dominican?
I'm not sure.
But he had dreadlocks because she still owns one of his dreadlocks she has like a dreadlock box.
I think she can't know. I mean, there's boxes. I don't even care.
There's
Look
one
at-
whole
there's just
box.
dusty
There's
boxes
one
of
whole
old-
box. And you lift it up, and it's nothing but hair from boyfriends.
Anyway,
Thousands of hairs.
so at one point in time, Crystal was like, "Antonio's gonna fight you before school starts tomorrow."
Because
Like,
you've been touching my ass.
yeah. And then I'm like, "What?" First, who told them? And then also, why?
Who
so-
snitched on me?
I'm like,
Wait, she
also,
was
what did I
cheating?
do? I
She
didn't-
was cheating?
No, he was just mad that she broke up with him.
Well,
and
that's
now
irrational madness. He's not. Look,
Yeah,
not
well,
with you
he-
He's a
anymore.
high
was-
school boy.
Yeah.
You call the police.
No, a lot of
Call the police.
No.
Then Tom's a bitch.
No, I didn't even care. I was like, well, I'll who cares? Like I'll fight him if he fights me. But then every morning going to school, you have to be prepared to start fighting, and that's
that's when you bring a gun to school.
No, who wants to spend the rest of their senior year?
Well, I'll tell you what. I got an
Every
answer.
single morning, ready to have someone punch you in the back of the head
I got an
as
answer
you
for
walk
that.
into school. Like that's how it's been. And then I was like, well, and then when it never happened, I was like, well, why'd you tell me?
Well, the answer is it depends on how good the sex is, right? Like, because I would do a lot of getting beat up if we're getting freaky all the time. Every morning, I don't care. I mean,
I was more confident, 18-year-old Tom.
yeah,
Man.
and you're probably hornier than you are now, too.
I wasn't afraid of getting beat
Yeah.
up, but I was
Perfect time.
But you are the cognizant of like, hey, this morning I may have to fight. Every single morning going to school, and I can't just be
no way to live.
Everybody else is just
Yeah.
running. Then I'm like just constantly waiting for to get jumped by a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And he was a graffiti artist, and she like remember she.
Okay, hold on a second. He
he
did.
ran with- there was a gang.
he did graffiti. He was not a graffiti artist.
Yeah, or they have her whole like she was a lookout.
What was
for-
his tag name?
I don't know.
No, my point is that now to be an artist, I'd have to see some of his work and judge it.
some of the guys that because everybody knew each other, whatever. Some of the guys
Antonio is Banksy.
they grew up to be essentially what Danger Brain is doing now, where they're graphic artists and use their graffiti background as like now they work for
What would it?
whatever.
We should find Antonio now and kind of see what he's up to.
Ooh, let's do a chatting with the master.
Yeah, chatting with a master. Get him in
you
here.
don't know. He'll be like, what?
So how crazy do you feel knowing that a white woman in Winter Park has one of your dreadlocks and has had it for decades?
Ooh, next BDM event, boxing match. Tom, Antonio. Let's finally do it.
I don't have any. I had nothing.
And let's square off.
I had no
It'd be
anger.
weird.
Or,
It's two men that don't
And by
know
the-
each other fighting.
This is insanity that we're talking about this because I was 17 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Crazy.
this
You're
is
40.
Anyway, but that's the last experience I had with one of Crystal's exes. Anyway, so
My wife is
Did that
too.
have something to do with getting something for free, or?
Yeah,
No.
free dreadlocks.
just tangent
Oh.
all the way.
I like tangent all the way.
So, what should we do next? Let's take a break, and then we come back. We'll
do
do some
voicemails?
we'll do some voicemails, and I wrote some other things down. So we'll be right back with more corporate time.
Welcome back to a corporate time.
Let's do some voicemail.
All right. Before we get into these voicemails, I'd like to remind you, head over to YouTube and find Tom and Dan Live. That's where all of our live, basically, we run the studio live. You can watch it. It's on Twitch live, but if you can't make that, you can head over to YouTube and check out all of the videos. We release at least one video a day, Monday through Friday, that you could check out. And typically, it's an edited version of our entire recording day, and I think you're going to dig it. Just search Tom and Dan Live over on YouTube. Here is our first voicemail. This is from Canadian Josh, who's been a bit of a stranger.
Tom, Dan, and Sam, it's Canadian Josh. This question is actually for Samantha. Sam, what is your obsession with Pudge? I'll hang up and listen. Love you guys. BDM for life.
Canadian toilets sound really. It had like a big.
Yeah.
I am a
There was something
fan.
in there.
Yeah, I am a fan of a toilet that when you flush it, it goes. I like it when it does that at the end, and I don't know. I always have been like that.
I don't like that though.
No,
It's
I like
gross.
it. It makes it feel purposeful. I don't like it when you flush it and it's quiet. I like it letting me know that it's getting the turds. Turds are gone. Turds are gone.
Why are you making the noise? Like, you don't need that. Anyway,
Well, how do you know the turds are gone?
Sam, what's your obsession with Pudge?
Well, we're all fans of Pudge in the chat. I think it's because we don't know much about Pudge. We finally
He's a
just
mystery
started getting
man.
little glimpses of what Pudge is about.
Yeah.
I feel like we've heard so much more about all the other Miami friends.
International
and also,
Pudge
Pudge is just
of
a
mystery.
great name.
Yeah. International Pudge of Mystery.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to.
We have a new Pudge story. I'd have to get the go-ahead to tell it because it's real bad.
Oh,
It's
really?
so bad, Sam.
Uh-oh.
Sam, you have
Were
no
you
idea.
talking to him?
I did not talk to Pudge, but I did talk to Pudge's brother, Turkey Leg. And Turkey Leg told me the entire story. And we'll have to check with Turkey Leg to see it. We'd have to have Turkey Leg call in to tell. It's insane.
Well, I mean, there's a certain things in his past I'm sure he doesn't want to bring up.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I'm not telling the story. But I'm just going to tell you,
Uh-oh.
it happened last week. And if we get the go-ahead with, maybe Pudge would call in and tell the story.
I will tell you a story about Pudge that I never said before.
Is it clear?
When we were
New
doing
Pudge story.
Yeah.
when we were the height of doing the Drunky the Bear footage, we were trying to get as many clips as possible for our movie that we were
Sure.
putting in Counterparts.
I still need to get that footage of what I did and give it to Melissa. So
I
we
think
can get
Andy
it.
has it. I was talking to him. His movie.
I started
that-
watching.
Well, it doesn't come out till
No, I started watching the trailer
Oh,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's good as hell, man.
It got pushed back to November 1st. It's on Apple
The
TV.
trailer's
and Prime.
great.
And it's called Hex. Anyway, my son's wanted to watch it. I was like, no. Like, if I know Andy, there's something
Boobs.
inappropriate.
He put some boobs in there, I'm sure.
Anyway.
Skydiving boobs.
So when we were trying to get clips, we were all doing ridiculous stuff. And this is back when, like, Drunky the Bear wasn't just me. It was a character that would pop up that all my friends would wear the suit and do ridiculous
It's
stuff.
more of
at
an
first.
essence. It was never one person, man.
So
it's
its
a
own,
vibe.
it was his own character within. So that's how we saw it. That was our artistic vision of the counterpart.
I'll go with it. I'm going with it. I like that.
And,
Yeah.
And then
I even helped write for Druggy the Bear, right? Like it was a vibe.
So everybody was doing stunts to try to get the clips, and this is back at Jackass. It's like 2000. God, it must have been 2000, like 2001 maybe,
Wow.
but more of 2000, I think.
Holy cow.
And then I had this flat roof in Miami where it was built in the 50s, like my
Did
house.
it have rocks?
It had rocks on top,
That's,
white
dude,
rocks.
that's what I had. White. I grew up in a Florida flat roof, white rock house.
Yeah, it had a bomb shelter in it because it was built during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
So, like the pantry
scary.
was like pure concrete and had like it's a metal door, like or metal attached to
like
the
a blast
solid
door.
Anyway, so Pudge got up there, and I had this big bush in the front of my yard.
Shave it.
And he wanted to do a jump into the bush because it was very popular in the early 2000s.
It's coming back.
To jump in a bush.
No, it's coming back where guys get in cherry pickers and then they jump in pine trees and fall all the way down, hitting every branch.
And then so Pudge was like, I'm going to jump in this bush, but instead of jumping into it, I'm going to do a handspring where basically I'll do a handstand and then flip into the bush.
That's impressive.
From my roof, which is probably like 8 foot or whatever, 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
So we're all standing there videotaping it. We have the footage. It's in Counterparts. And so he does the handspring off the front, the top of my roof.
Yeah.
And misses the bush.
Oh.
And basically only his legs catch it. And then he lands from my roof onto my driveway, concrete driveway, onto his face.
Oh.
Which he busted open his chin, like I think from his lip down,
Oh.
where he split it open. He was bleeding. He had to get stitches or whatever. And but we thought when he landed on his face that he exploded all his teeth out, and that was the end of all. Because he was younger than all of us too. He was still.
Oh, you're gonna get in so much
He was-
trouble.
Little baby pie.
He was
Yeah.
17 or 16
Little
at the
Pudge
time,
baby.
and he was going to private school. There's a private school down in Miami called Columbus.
Private Pudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think his parents are like
The worst kids in private school. Kids.
yeah,
Oh
his
my
parents-
God.
His parents are like, we're gonna get you in private school because you're heading in the wrong direction because
We need to send you with all the drugs.
your big brother turkey leg got high on Xanax and spilled cereal on the roof. That happened. Anyway, so
Virtually certain you're not supposed to tell.
and we sent him to Venezuela to his real man grandfather's house because we didn't.
yeah.
He was a troubled
He'll
youth.
whip the gay out of you.
yeah. Anyway, so.
What is happening, dude?
So
That's
and
terrible.
then I think once he blew his chin out, his mom didn't let us hang out with his brother and all of
yeah,
all of us
not
for a
going
while.
over there, Pudge. Go to your room.
Yeah, because they're for whatever story he told his mom, she knew it was BS. Right?
It's good to know, and I can't tell the story yet, but it's good to know that, 25 years later, Pudge still doing it. Still
Well, he's
up
not
to
doing
his-
that.
Nobody's still doing crazy stuff.
No, he's not. He's got a kid. He's an elevator mechanic. He works for a union. He will do it though.
does.
The dirt bike.
I don't want to tell the story because I don't want to get him into trouble. But I'm just saying it's nice to know that from then until now, not much has changed. He's still a wild man.
Yeah, he is a wild real man.
Sam, when I heard this story, I go, well, what did you do? And then Turkey Leg's like, well, we just did.
I'll tell the story. I mean, he don't care.
Are you sure? I don't want to get him into trouble.
He was riding his the Sur-Ron because Turkey Leg got 2 Sur-Ron electric dirt bikes.
I gotta get one.
And they ride around the streets of Miami, or like down the canals and stuff.
Yeah.
I went with them, and
it's so fun, isn't it? It's freedom. It's true freedom.
Not really, because I forget how lawless Miami is. And
is it scary to you?
So I'm like, we shouldn't be riding around people's backyards that are like Power Line Road.
Oh, you got soft.
No.
Corporate Tommy.
No, because I'm thinking of Orlando. Like, this wouldn't fly in Orlando.
No.
But I forget Miami is just no one cares. Anyway, so he rides around with no helmet because he's a real man, and because Turkey Leg rides with Pudge, and Pudge knocked himself out. And then
Pudge
do that?
He crashed his bike. He crashed his bike and he knocked himself out.
Hit his head on the coquina rock. And then it's just it's a
oh God!
Like there's no soil.
I told you, Sam.
There's no soil in Miami. It's all like if you dig like 1 inch of soil, then straight rock.
Yeah.
And then under the power lines, it's all just rock, like coral from the sea, like it was a billion years old or
it's
whatever.
Rock coral.
And he knocked himself out. Then he was trying to drive home, fell over again.
Yeah.
Because he was.
He had a concussion.
Oh yeah,
he did.
yeah, for sure he didn't go to the hospital for sure.
And then he drove back there. And then apparently
Fudge.
they started on their way home, and then he fell asleep again in Turkey Leg's arms. He just kept passing out on the bike, just falling into him.
Yeah.
He's a wild man.
He'll drink a Corona, never go to the hospital.
And you know what though? The funny thing is he will drink the Corona and wake up the next day. He's fine.
Oh yeah.
He's totally fine.
I
need to be
He's
that tough.
way tougher than me.
I need to will myself to be that tough. We got to get out of here.
Oh, okay. We'll see you after this.
All right.
We'll see you after.
That was a weird.
I had to get it out because if we didn't, we'd mess it all up. All right.
We'll come back and just do more voicemails. I figured let's just go through and do the second half of Thursday.
It's working out good.
And then
Sam sounds good.
after lunch, we won't come back. We'll just finish all like the business stuff we were talking about. I gotta.
The chat room was asking. I don't think we're gonna talk about it, guys, because you can't even hear it. But
why, Sam?
Yeah. Because they were asking.
Oh yeah,
why?
My son Tommy got a fever over the weekend, but it started with an earache. So, and he also got a bad sunburn on his face. And then anyway, he tested negative for corona at the time, but it was a fever, and we were like, "Is it the sunburn? What is it? Whatever." And then he didn't go to school Monday, but then it went away. So then yesterday, he went to school. Which I'm glad he wore a mask. Because, it was the one time he was like, "Can I wear a mask since I was sick yesterday?" We're like, "Yes," because he always wants to wear a mask.
Oh, he asked. That's sweet.
Well, he wants to hide his face though. That's the purpose. Like, but he knew he could use he was sick yesterday, and I was like, all right. So he did wear a mask. But then when he got home yesterday, then he had a little cough. He didn't have any fever anymore. And then so we tested him again, and then I showed Daniel the video. Yeah. It's like the faintest line, but then Crystal asked our friend who's a nurse, and it was like, if there's any sort of anything that is positive for corona. So we're like, fuck. So then that's when I text you, and then we're just playing it safe. And then this morning woke up and tested negative, and he had no symptoms. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like he had it, or and then he went
cut the tail end of it.
And went through it because he had it before. So just like Max, like when Max had it, when I had it, it happened so fast that it was like one day and then over it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're just playing it safe and having Sam record from home.
Better to do it. All right, let me get my. Okay, I got voicemails ready to go. We did the Pudge one. Make sure I'm taking care of that. Okay. This Thursday 3.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you bring us back? Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some more voicemails.
Yes, sir. Voicemails are on deck. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail message, you can do so on our app. There's a little button that says Mediocre Messages, or you can call this number 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's a 1-844. Pardon me. My God, my brain just shut down. 1-844-TOM and Dan. And yeah, you can leave us a voicemail message there, and I'll collect them.
Before we start voicemail, did Maisie know, or does she know what she wants to be for Halloween? Like, has she mentioned it? Because I asked my sons, and
Our
they
kids
have-
are lame.
they're like,
Well, I don't wanna say
they're
that
like
about your
Among
boy.
Us again. No, you could
They're
add my
lame.
son.
Okay, they're all lame.
They
You
don't
know
even want to have fun. They're not excited. They're like,
Neither
I
is
guess
Maisie.
Among Us. I don't know.
Dude,
and I'm like,
I have so many costumes.
I know. Yeah,
well,
they-
you're a good kid.
yeah. You enjoy
You know,
life.
I would enjoy for you to be my daughter, Sam, and not creepy. I know, because May, I asked her, what do you want to do for Halloween? She's like, I want to give out candy. I go, that's not what I asked. I asked, what do you want to be for Halloween? No, she's like, I just want to stay home and give out candy. I'm like, that's what you're.
No costume.
What are you already a teen? Like what?
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
my fun? Right? You know what? I'll go trick or treating with Sam. I don't give a damn. You stay here with your mom and be an old lady, be an old logical old 7-year-old. I'll go with Sam and her husband, and we'll go trick or treating. We'll dress up and do the full fun.
See, my sons, they want to go trick or treating, but they put no thought into their costume, or like they're not excited. Like, oh, this year I ask them, and they're like, I guess Among Us. I'm like, you were that last year. Don't you want to come up with
Yeah.
like, what about this?
They like the easy ones.
And then I just start suggesting ideas, and
No,
they're like,
don't do that.
No, but they were just like, oh yeah, we'll be that. It's like
Sure, Dad.
I just passively suggested an idea, and then that's now your new costume. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to have some passion in life. And then I'm like, oh God, they're me.
It's like my wife trying to get me to be excited about where we're going out for dinner because it's an out night. It's an out night.
Yeah.
Where are we going for
Yeah.
dinner? And all I'm thinking about is like, I don't care. You pick any place. I just want to know if I'm getting laid tonight. Like, I
Yeah,
honestly
yeah.
don't care. But is this a sex?
I don't even want to go out.
Am I on the sex schedule? Every other day. Gotta do it every other day.
Every other day.
That's how I try to. I try to get it in every other day.
Oh man.
It's just better. It's better for your health. It's like going to
Well-
the gym. I look at it. I tell her. That's I give
Well,
her
you
the
need
speech.
two people.
No, I gave her the speech. It's like, and I think she bought
Better
it.
for your health?
Yeah, it is better for your health, dude. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah, but I would imagine it's the same if you do it yourself than if you do it with someone else. It's just
No,
some
it's
sort
like
of
pooping in the woods. More comes out.
It's
I feel like.
All right.
It's good cardio.
Not the way I do it.
yeah.
Not that I just kind of lay there and then smile.
Yeah. It's
No,
not
I'm
that
joking.
good of cardio. Like there's better cardio.
Yeah,
Like-
my Peloton's pretty darn good cardio.
Like I'm pretty sure that if I did 50 jumping jacks, took a break in between 20 20
do people
25.
still do jumping jacks?
No, they're harder than it looks too. Like
They are harder.
when you're older, you're
Well,
like,
when you're older, you
the
don't have
wind's-
things that, but like when I do them now, I feel things moving and grooving. Like my T's bounce.
yeah, you're also
yeah.
slamming your joints,
Yeah.
your feet and your joints.
Yeah, I don't have any cushions in my joints. I'm all bone on bone for I'm an old skeleton man.
And then all the compacted Duke that I've stored in my
Yeah.
belly is all out front.
I have a
heavy.
lot of rotting meat that bounces within
Yeah.
my body. What you're feeling
Yeah.
when you jump up and down, and this is just science, guys, and for any of you fat dads listening to this and you want to know what's happening to you, you have a decomposing and rotting meat inside your body that is bouncing around like free radicals within your body. That's just science. This guy, I think, misunderstood what we were saying.
Okay.
I am anti sitting in traffic for rocket launch. I am not anti rocket launch. I think people think we're anti rocket launch. We're not. If you can get to a rocket
Yeah.
launch conveniently, we're pro rocket launch. We're just anti the 4 hours you sit in traffic in Cocoa Beach trying to get home.
And for a possibility of nothing.
Of it getting scrubbed.
Yeah.
Here, I'll let this man continue.
Hey guys, I'm with you, Dan, on this rocket launch stuff. It's so overrated. I mean, it may be because I've lived here my entire life and I've seen shuttle launches all my life, and these new little rockets don't even compare to the massive fuel-burning NASA rockets we used to have. But these, multiple hundreds of thousands of people coming into town to see that. Waste of time. And rumor has it that this Artemis rocket is going to blow up because it's a NASA rocket and not a Elon
That's
rocket.
not
So
true. Nobody said
that's
that.
my prediction.
Well, it can be your prediction. I don't want any rocket to
Hold
blow
on.
up because I don't
Why
want people
would it
getting
blow
hurt.
up more if it was a NASA rocket instead of. That doesn't make sense to me.
It wouldn't. He's saying because of funding. That's what he's saying.
And also, this Artemis one, the next one is unmanned. So if
Yeah.
it did blow up, it would just be a tremendous loss of money.
Yeah, which I don't care about.
Yeah.
Not my money.
As long as no one gets hurt, it would
That's
be
what I mean. I don't
cool
want- I
to
don't want people
see
getting hurt.
a gigantic mega rocket explode. And the next one's scheduled for night. And I was telling anybody who
Let's do a meetup.
has never seen a shuttle launch, I was like, man, if this, I think it's bigger than the shuttle rocket. I was like, it'll light up the entire beach like it's daylight.
Let's do a meetup at Tiffany's bar.
I was gonna say, is the Salty Sisters gonna be open by then?
No, I think it's talked to Tiffany. She said November.
Okay, that's
and
perfect.
This is scheduled to at the end of September.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's end of September.
30th, 31, something like that. And then the night launches with the huge mega rocket. It makes the beach lighter than you would think from that far away.
Yeah, I'm excited to.
Where you're like,
maybe
whoa!
I'll go.
Now
Maybe I'll go.
It's only about like 3 to 5 Mississippis of super bright, lit up the beach. But it's so bright that it blows your mind for a second because it's bizarre. Like, you've never stood on a pitch black beach and then all of a sudden it's daylight for 5 Mississippis.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is nuts. I remember one time being in a boat for a shuttle launch, and the way it lit the water was crazy. It was insane the way it lit up the water.
Anyway, so that's cool. Although it's going to be real cool when they start sending manned missions. Just the fact that there's humans in the rocket makes it cooler.
I can see where, and don't at me, I can see where people think that's fake, because when you look at it and you're thinking of you and you own your little human capsule, your body, and thinking of being in that and pulling those G's or blacking out or whatever it takes to survive that and then get back home, I can see where people think that's fake because it sounds crazy. But it's pretty damn impressive.
It sounds crazy that we can engineer it to happen and it can happen, right? It's like it seems so complicated to make happen, but
this belly button ding dong connection is driving me nuts. There are apparently more than not, people think, like men think, that if you poke your belly button with your index finger as hard as humanly possible, that you will get a stinger on the end of your dinger. And I do not believe it, but the number of voicemail messages that we've received, I'm going to have to weed through them. I'm only going to play a couple of them, but here's just 2.
Hey guys, Hilton Head BDM. I just wanted to weigh in on belly button talk with Tom and Dan. I always had that too.
See, there's one.
Hey, I wanted to let you guys know I do get a stinger in my dinger when I push on my belly button.
Yeah.
It's true for me.
That's 2 of maybe 9 that I said, okay, I get it.
Well, everybody has different wiring in their body and
But
nerve
why
endings.
is that connected?
It's some nerve ending connection that
I don't have it.
They must have just developed into.
Now I will say, if you flick my dinger, I get a stinger in the center of my belly button. So maybe maybe my parts were put in reversed.
And then like all humans are kind of different.
People can be reversed. I had a science teacher. Hopefully she's listening to this. My science teacher at DeLand High School, I won't say her name, but all of her organs are on the opposite side.
I've heard of that.
Thing.
Yeah, she has the thing.
Like a heart is on
the right. Like the opening that you want to get. You want to sucker kids into being interested in science. Start your first day of her science class. She turns the lights out and puts up an MRI of her body and shows you that her organs are reversed, and the whole class is like, "Oh my god!" And she's a really cool teacher.
Did you see the outline of
her liver,
breasts?
Her heart?
No,
yeah, I did. I got horny.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's I'm telling you.
Yeah,
no,
anything made me horny. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
You could see
every teacher should start their class by an outline of their breasts. I'd be interested in school.
Like even with X-rays, when you take an X-ray of your pelvis, you can see the outline of your ding dong, but it's very faint.
It's a faint ding dong.
Yeah,
it's like a ghost ding dong.
But you're like, I see you.
I see your ghost.
And the same thing
Bibs.
with breasts and it's like.
Stop saying breasts.
No, I'm just trying to be medical. But then
never try to
now
be
he's
medical.
medical.
He's medical Tom.
You could see it, and then you're like, I know what that is.
I know what's under there.
Anyway.
You ever look at old ladies, like really old ladies? Some lady at I don't know, some old lady at a gas station looks like her pants are falling down, like can barely walk, and you look at her boobs and they're long and they're hanging down, and her nipples are hard, and you're like, somebody suck those.
No, come on.
Okay, I gotta cut that out.
I
thought whispering would make it better. All right, let's try this.
There's a certain age that you just stop doing all that.
No, not me.
Yeah,
Do it for life. Let's do another voicemail. How about this guy right here? Football memories.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, BDMJ here. So I was listening to ACT from Thursday, bedtime scams, and you're talking about favorite NFL teams. In 1995, we got season tickets to the Jaguars, and I was 6 years old, and we've kept them all the way up until now, and it has been hell all my life. Nobody wants to watch football with me because, my team sucks, but I can't help but be a die-hard Jaguars fan. I don't get into college football, don't get into any other sports, just NFL, just Jaguars. I got the logo tattooed on me. Don't miss a game. Go to the away games that I can go to. But it's just horrible. I actually think Tom is the right way to be, to where you have a
Can you believe this?
favorite team, but you're not invested into it, be it, because of the gambling jaded him or whatever. But he doesn't get emotionally sick when they lose like how I do with the Jaguars. And it bothers me to a point to where it's a talking point to my therapist, which is pathetic, seeing as how I am a grown man.
No, you stop. You stop.
Anyways, love the show. Keep it up.
You stop it
Bye-bye.
right there.
You shouldn't be
I will
talking to your
hold you
therapist.
and I will hug you, sir.
Come on.
What you did by coming on this program and even leaving that voicemail message is extremely brave. The chat room is pouring out their hearts to you. They love you. I saw Sam's face.
Shouldn't be talking to your therapist about the Jags losing.
It's affecting his life.
Yeah, if it bothers him, it bothers him, and you don't get to
Well,
pick
maybe-
his emotions, Tom.
Maybe, yeah. I
He
just
doesn't even want it to bother. He's telling you it's ruining his life, and he can't stop.
He's trying to fix himself, man, but he just loves those damn Jags.
Here's why this is
The
better.
Jagdiction.
So let me. This is actually a good thing, and I'll explain. Right. So when your team is the Kansas City Chiefs, right, or the Patriots or whatever, then
Forever winning franchise.
well, you're
the Yankees.
you get used to winning. You've been through Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like you've won Super Bowls, and then you're just constantly winning all the time. So I feel like getting to the Super Bowl one day is not that big of a deal because you went through it multiple times already, right? It diminishes how awesome it feels to get there, right? Because you expect it almost.
Sure.
So it's like, and this is why all these Bills fans are so excited this year, because it's been a while. But the Bills did have a run back when they were playing Dallas. They were, they lost it every time, but they were, going.
I mean, they were a great team, yes, but they just weren't.
My
winning
buddy
the Super Bowl.
Dom is like this for the Bills. Like, he gets so emotionally involved. It's insane.
Do you guys
Now,
know?
but
do we all know people that if their favorite team loses, they will cry? Does anybody know?
No, well, not
anybody.
Not as an adult.
I
As
know
an
people that will scream and break stuff.
Yeah, get
Okay.
angry.
I
but
think
not
that
cry.
counts. Isn't that basically the same reaction? You're
It's throwing a fit.
It's the
yeah.
same thing.
But here's why it's better to follow a team that has no chance.
Like
because,
my Falcons.
Well, no, but Falcons were already in the Super Bowl, and they were winning
they-
28-3 at one point.
They
so
had
like,
a run. It hurts.
The last time the Dolphins won a Super Bowl was 72, and then they went like with a couple times after that they didn't win or anything, but not in my life.
No,
you know what
no,
I'm saying?
they've been
So,
bad.
in my entire life, they've never been to the Super Bowl or even been close, really, that I remember. But when you have you follow a team that hasn't been in your lifetime, when they do inevitably make it, because statistics say that the Jags will make it to the Super Bowl, especially like with over and over losing seasons, like Trevor Lawrence, they get
should be
first round
picking
draft
up
pick.
picks and players.
Yeah, so
Florida's a great place to want to be.
You'll eventually get a team. I mean, well, they were in the playoffs. Remember, the Jags were in the playoffs and made that playoff run where they were really good. Like,
Was that when Bortles?
Yeah, Blake Bortles was there, and they had a decent team. So when they eventually make it, and it's the first time in your entire life, it'll be way sweeter,
Super sweet,
than any other like winning franchise making it in the years prior. That people already seen it. It can't be as special as the first time. It's like the first time you do heroin is your best time, but like every other time you're just chasing it.
It was my favorite.
And, the first time you've had the first time of anything is is
You know
the
what?
best.
I will say that every time I have sex is the best time.
No.
It's like
First time having sex is not the best time.
it wasn't my best time.
I know.
Also, having
but
tacos is the best time. Anytime I have tacos is the tacos and sex are pretty much what I'm here
It's
for.
not the best time, but the feeling you've never experienced. So then that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like
yes.
it's a new feel. Like so when your losing team gets in the Super Bowl the first time, the feeling will be above everybody else that's been to the Super Bowl before. You know, the fans of the teams.
Now, if you're a non-trusting person like I am, you'll be continuously texting your friend that you don't believe the Falcons are going to win, and then you'll be right.
Now, here's the only problem with this is that, like I say, statistically, you'll make it to the Super Bowl, but there's also chances that your star players get injured randomly. There's chances that the ownership.
You have a chance, but there's also other chances.
Well, yeah, the chance that the ownership botch it and botch the coaching decisions and management stuff, and your entire life you will die before you see your team make the Super Bowl and win. You'll die.
Are you talking about Jerry Jones?
I know, no, I'm talking about anybody who's a Jags fan or there's a chance. There's a chance that I could die before the Dolphins win. That I see the Dolphins win a Super Bowl.
Nah, I think you will. They're doing pretty good. I think they're on a good trajectory now. I think they're on their come up.
Well,
they're going to stay well for a decent amount of time.
If Tua's not the person, and then they linger and they make bad decisions, and then all of a sudden their star players leave, and Tyreek Hill wants to win another one, Waddle's out. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden rebuild again, and then 15 years go by, and then they're like, well, maybe they have a chance, and they almost make it, or they make it and then lose. You know, there's a lot of that. I mean, Cincinnati could, not be back for a while. So it's like they had their one chance and you lose, and it's hard as hell to make the Super Bowl. Like tiny little tips happen, and fumbles and interceptions, and you never make it. The Bills should have made it last year.
And it didn't happen.
So then it's like you could die without ever seeing it, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Like,
well, if you're that into it.
If you're in, yes.
Yeah.
If you're as into it as this guy, that he gets that upset.
You could tell in this guy's voice. Again, I want to reiterate that I appreciate the hell out of these style of voicemails where people come and they actually bare their souls and tell us something that's hard to say, because we get a lot of voicemails. A lot of them are like, hey, love the show, and like little passing comments. But it sounded like it was a bit of a struggle for that gentleman to tell the truth, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, for listening.
It's always my favorite when someone's like, I'm a diehard fan. I've been going since I was 6. It's miserable. I hate it.
No, I feel so bad for that
Can't
guy.
stop.
Because I want his Jags to win. I remember when the Jags first rolled out, and you and I, we had tickets. We would always go whenever we wanted to. We had season tickets.
Well, they were promoting,
Yeah, they were being promoted, and we were the official. I think they played the games on Real Radio. This is way back in the day. We'd go up to the Budweiser zone at that Jags stadium, man, and I would just tear that place sideways.
We went to a Jags game because of the ticket deal, whatever, and that was a game that I saw an old friend of ours from high school that she was now like an escort and then we put to she wouldn't have sex with these old men, but she would
accompany them to events.
Yeah, accompany them to events. She was accompanying to a Jags game, and I remember
touch it with a napkin.
She was embarrassed. She saw. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" I was like,
"What are you doing with this old man?"
No.
Wow.
But the old man was standing, and then
this is my day.
It wasn't that
old. Oh God.
He was like in his early 60s, and it was really weird. And I bet that was the only thing I remember of that Jags game.
Damn, why'd you call her out like that, Tom?
He loves
no one knows who it is. So
he was working. No, I'm saying, why'd you call her out then?
Let
her
I did.
I didn't say no. I hugged her. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, I just came to the game."
Hands off, that's my girl.
Like you never saw her.
And then I saw the guy standing there, and she's like,
"Why are you touching my girl, dude?"
and then we found
Back
out,
up, bro.
we found out from a friend. So like, oh yeah, she's been doing this.
Hey,
thing.
is she still doing it? Like, would you
know?
Like, we should reach out to her and see if she'll come on the show to talk about the time in her life when she escorted.
This was like 17 years ago. Like she's got a family and kids.
Let's bring it up.
No, no one wants to bring up their past except for us.
I love bringing up past.
we already ruined. Like everybody knows, and has an accurate perception of who we are. But other people are afraid to talk about some of these things because they're like, I don't want people to remember me for this. They're not like us.
Remember me. Okay, let's try this one right here.
Hey guys, I'm calling in about Tom and his logic and how he constantly speaks in absolutes, and it has to stop. You can get salt poisoning. Google it, Tom, and or just tell me I'm wrong, like you always do to everyone that calls in and leaves a message about when you're wrong. Tell me you're right, Logic Man.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I don't
anger in
even
that.
remember
Yeah.
what I said,
Yeah,
so that's
that was
the
an
problem.
emotional person.
Did I say you can't get salt poisoning at one point? I'm sure it did. Hey, this is a problem.
You were saying that salt is actually good for you, if I
Well, it
remember
can be.
correctly.
Well, yeah. I didn't say you that also that you can't. I mean, if
Well,
you
water's
had,
good for you, but you can be poisoned by water
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what is this guy trying to say?
but yeah,
Man, I do defend you a lot.
Well,
I shouldn't do that.
but
I
that's the
should just
thing.
let you defend yourself.
salt is good for you, and you need it in your diet.
Yeah, my
Your body
doctor, my
needs salt.
cardiologist told me, he's like, yeah, you need to increase your salt.
That's why there's
because-
salt in Gatorade and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you could sweat it out, and you need to replenish your body with salts. And so what did I say that was wrong though? That I didn't.
I think you were, you know how you go to extremes. You were saying, like,
Billy
eat as
Joel.
much salt as you want. It won't hurt you.
Well, I said.
Well, you're saying there? No, he did not. I remember what he said to him. He said there are some people that can eat as much salt as they want, and it will not hurt them. Your wife is one of those people.
Yeah, and because she has a high blood pressure, she has actually low blood
Yeah.
pressure, and
So do
but,
I.
But I wasn't. But you know what's funny is how people hear stuff.
Well,
Like,
they already want you to be wrong, so they're going to hear it wrong.
this guy heard it as I'm saying you could eat unlimited salt and nothing will happen to you, and I'm like, that's not what I said. I'm saying that I'm not saying you're drinking the damn Morton salt can, the charge.
I would eat that.
Like if you eat that whole charge of Morton salt, yes, that's bad for you. Like I'm saying, you could salt your food and have salty food all day long, and if the actual salt, unless you have high blood pressure, is not going to be harmful to your body.
Do you salt things?
Unless you drank a charge or ate a charge of it. No, I don't, because I had when I was fatter, I had high blood pressure, so I just got out of the habit of putting salt on stuff. I figured if I had it at one point, then even though I don't have it now because I'm less heavy, that it just I might as well keep it out of there.
What about you, Sam? Do you salt your food?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on it. Like I go through phases. Typically because French fries are already salted, or usually they'll pull from the fryer and then you immediately salt them. I don't salt my fries typically, but I want them to be salty. But meat, like a steak, I'm going to have some salt on that steak. Or like a chicken breast, I got to have something.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken especially. If chicken is not seasoned, it can go to hell. Like chicken is
yeah.
not good, dude.
But you season it with I do the hot seasoning, the salt-free hot.
It's good. Yeah, that's not bad.
It's like Cajun, or there's a bunch of spices. I'm more of a spice.
You know they have a Frank's Red Hot powder now?
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she's right. That powder, they make a Frank's Red Hot
Yeah, yeah.
powder that you can just put on the outside of stuff if you just need a
Make a
dash of
buffalo
it.
chicken. Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
it's really good, man. You can mix it with stuff too. A lot of people will take it if you just want a pinch of it. Like let's say you got queso and you want to make that little spicy, you just throw a dash of that in there and stir it up. It's good to go. Let's do this one right here. We'll just keep powering through.
Hey guys, I'm backlogged on ACT, so I've been kind of listening here and there. So these are going to be all over the place. Number one, you guys talk about how you don't care about the news and everything like that. I'm so glad to hear that, because every time I get together with friends or something, they want to talk about politics or what's going on in the world, and I don't have a single idea what they're talking about. And I think to myself, should I dedicate time to get the basic news every day and what's going on, or do I just don't care? And number two, I am so glad as a nerd to start hearing Tom pepper in little conversations about the Marvel movies inside of everything.
Gross.
Like he just mentioned Tony Stark's house, which a year ago he would never have mentioned that at all. So the fact that he's bringing up stuff like that is just hilarious. And I don't even think he knows he's doing it, but he's peppering a lot of Marvel tidbits here and there. And yes, I'm out of breath because I'm doing yard work. Bye.
You're fine. You're fine. Thank you for your voicemail, sir.
You're out of breath from talking. Not from,
Oh, hey,
he was
this guy's
trying
your
to give you a
buddy. This
compliment.
guy give you a
No,
compliment, you're calling him a fat ass.
Well, I'm just saying, you started not out of breath, and then you got out of
You're
breath.
so mean to our listeners.
Accidental dickhead.
The other
You're
guy,
an accidental
The other guy,
dickhead.
you're like, your Jags will never go to the Super Bowl. You'll die before they go
No,
to
I
the
didn't
Super
say
Bowl.
Why
that.
not?
I'm
Your
just saying
first
that's an
comment
option.
should have been, thank you, sir, right? Your first comment is like, "Thank you so much."
get-
And said,
I'm
"You're
just-
like, you're out of breath from just talking to me, you fat ass."
No, I'm just saying he started not out of breath, and then he got out of breath. So and then he blamed it on work, and I was like, wait a minute.
A lot of people can't talk as fast as we do.
Were you doing some work while you were telling us that?
He got really excited. He was excited to tell you that he liked the show.
Listen,
Good luck. Now we lost a listener because you called this guy Fat Yard Man.
I'm watching all the Marvel movies now with my sons because they like it, and I will
What's
like.
their favorite so far?
They like Spider-Man.
So
You
still,
don't want to do
Iron
a
Man.
Marvel character for Halloween?
they don't
They-
care.
well, if I suggest it, they will, but I want them to.
What if you and your wife pretend to be excited about what you guys are going to be for Halloween? Will
yeah,
that
what are you
inspire
guys
them?
gonna be?
No, I don't.
What are you gonna be?
I don't know. I
You
don't
gotta
care
be.
about it.
You know what? I got a good one for you.
I don't want to.
You've already got a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow here right now.
It's my mustache that I have to
Perfect.
grow because my
Perfect.
aunt's pet.
Perfect. You could be Doctor Strange. Doesn't he have a little mustache?
What?
And you leave your sideburns gray, right? Because then you have gray sideburns, Doctor
No.
Strange. And then you just wear a robe and you get on your one wheel and you float around with an orb in your hands, Doctor Strange.
It brings me no joy, and it brings my sons no joy either because
Dressing
they're my
up?
sons. Yeah, well, no, dressing up, but me dressing up. Like I don't.
You dressing up brings your sons no joy.
They don't care. They don't care.
Wow.
They're my sons.
God,
They-
well, see, Maisie cares too much. Maisie's like, do not dress up. You'll embarrass me.
okay, yeah,
I get the
I like that.
opposite.
Yeah.
You like that? I don't like that. I want to dress up.
Well, it does take there is an amount of fun.
She's taking my fun away.
What's funny is that I'm yelling at my sons. I don't know yelling, but I'm saying the same things that my wife says to me when she's saying, "Why don't you like things? Or why don't you tell me you love me randomly, or tell me I look pretty, or my hair looks good, or compliment
Well, maybe
me?"
you don't look pretty.
And then when
That's
she
what I tell my wife.
when she tells me
I'm, like,
that,
I'm not going to tell you look pretty when you look ugly. What's
and I'm
the
like,
point of that?
She's like, tell me I look pretty. I'm like, you look pretty. She's like, not during this, randomly and I'm like, well, I don't think about it unless you tell me. And that's my sons. I'm like, well, do you want to be Iron Man? And they're like, yeah, we want to be Iron Man. I'm like, no, I want you
I like the
to
idea of
want
you messing
me.
it all up. You're like, oh gosh, you guys want to be? You look pretty, Mac.
No.
Oh God, I'm getting it all wrong.
But I want them to want to be Iron Man without me telling them, do you want to be Iron Man? Them saying yes. I'm like, I want you to come up with it yourself.
Like, okay,
It's
let
the
me
same
paint-
thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm torturing my wife.
Let me
because
paint
they're torturing me.
the perfect picture for you.
Yeah.
Would be both of your sons coming to you and not. They're not resting until you take them to Spirit. They're begging you every day. We know what we want to be. Please, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want them to be like, Daddy, you said you're taking us to Spirit so we can be the Mario Brothers, and we really want to be the Mario Brothers because Tommy's a perfect Luigi and I'm a perfect
Yeah.
Mario. This is going to be the best costume ever. Take us, Daddy, and you want that.
I'd
and
be
you're like,
building-
all right, boys, come on.
I'd be building a Mario Kart in my garage.
Yeah,
you
you'd
know.
have the tubes. I'd be out there helping you. We're spray painting tubes green. I'm dressed like a Koopa. They're landing on my head.
I'm messing with Samantha because she decorated her house early for Halloween.
you like it, don't you?
No, well, if my sons were like, let's decorate our house today because I want to have the Halloween spirit for longer.
You'd be fired up.
I'll be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd want to, like, I'd do it. But last year, we didn't do it till like 10 days before Halloween. And
I know you waited late last
and
year.
then it was like up for 10 days and it took it down. It's because
not worth it.
my sons liked it when we put it up, but they didn't like, they weren't like,
They don't remember it.
They remember it. And
So they have said nothing about Halloween.
No.
Ooh.
They're just day to day, like, you know, what's going on, but, you know, video games today. I don't know.
went to work. Come on, play video games. Go to bed. Go to work.
They're not looking into the future. Like, I was like that when I was young. Like, the weekend seemed a million miles away, so I never planned, you know,
Yeah.
tomorrow was too far to plan for. Like, I didn't even plan for when I got home from school or whatever. Like, I didn't, every day I was like, just that day.
That's interesting because they are like you. Like, here's another instance where your kids are like you because Maisie is guided by the. She needs the schedule. In fact, this is where you throw your Pepsi at me. She asks for a copy of her schedule in her backpack so she knows from it. So Andrea gives her a copy of like what's happening. Like, this is where you're doing this week. Like, so she knows.
She wants
when
to
her
know.
day-
Yeah.
She wants to know.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the opposite for her. Like, if she doesn't know, then she is all crying, all messed up.
That's me.
Yeah, she's like that.
Yeah, some people are wired that way.
They are.
My sons, we'll get them in the car, we'll drive. Like, this is gonna happen.
They're not even asking where they're going or anything,
No,
right?
they'll-
They
that's
would be
not-
the easiest kids to kidnap.
Yeah.
They don't ask
questions.
They
It's all going to work out.
wherever they're going,
Yeah.
they don't care.
It's all going to
They-
work out. Yeah. It's fine.
They'll
I like that.
And then we'll remind them, hoping that they'll get excited. Or we're like, hey, even this, the last week was like, hey, we're going to the beach and we're gonna see our friends, and all your friends are gonna be there. Turkey Leg's kids, Andres' kids,
Yeah.
and then we're like, we're gonna have a kid weekend on the beach, and Daddy's doing his BDM party, so Tom and Dan party, and then they while you're telling them, they're like, oh, cool. And then, like, the next day, the day after, they'll never remember that it's happening, or be like, oh, yeah, this, they'll just be like, what are we doing this weekend? I'm like, I just told you yesterday.
They look forward to nothing.
And then
they look forward to nothing.
And then they're driving to the beach, and they're just looking at their phones or whatever. And then they get there like, oh, we're here. Well, why are we doing it here? Like, it was just like, we talked to you about this. You don't even know where you're at? And that's when I'm tortured by my own genes. And
is
you're
your sister like that?
No, yeah.
I don't know. I don't spend
The
enough
Vans
time.
are all like this.
I don't spend enough time with your sister, but I know she likes fun. She's
Nope.
always out doing stuff.
Yeah, and so does her daughter. I always see them
Yeah.
out at Universal.
Yeah, they're always
water
out
parks,
They like-
everything.
they-
They
that's
like
a-
to travel and do stuff.
They like the parks and stuff, but they're no plan van. I know my sister. Me and my sister.
They're very fun to be around, though.
If you left us to our own devices, and my sister's more confident than she could do things herself
But
than
she
I am.
can do a lot of stuff.
She didn't have a crow beating her down her whole life,
wow,
telling
this
her
is-
she's a R word, and then
Oh, my
she's
God.
got special needs. She can't do nothing right.
Yeah.
And then that'll
She's
cause
had the
you
freedom.
It'll cause you to question. Yeah, she had the freedom. She's confident she can do anything.
Yeah,
I-
she's full van. You've been a little held back.
And I noticed that last time we were at Brooksville riding four-wheelers, she the tire came off the rim
Yeah.
of her four-wheeler, and she was like, we just need to put this carb cleaner in there
Yeah, light it.
then light it, and
Yeah.
it'll blow it back on the thing. And I was like, whoa.
You hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You said, "Whoa!" I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
believe
Oh, she
it.
had the lighter out. She was spraying it in there, and then I was like, whoa. I was like,
It's
you know,
gonna injure somebody.
I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we're gonna blow our fingers off. Like, something. We're gonna cause some sort of problem. Like, let's think this out here. And then she's like, what? Yo, you lost. Oh, she was giving me a.
Oh yeah. And then by about that time, Crystal came over and stopped it, right?
No, because
Did you guys end up
yeah,
doing
she stays out of it with my sister because she only yells at me. She doesn't have.
Yeah, it's not her jurisdiction.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
the FBI
yeah.
puts her hands
Yeah.
up and sorry, this is
Yeah,
Seminole
yeah.
County. We're not doing it.
Yeah. She's like, so Crystal. Now, if I doing that with the lighter, she stopped me. But I've been so beaten down my whole life that I stopped myself. I said, whoa. Now, a lot of people would believe that's the right choice. You know what I'm saying? But in the van way,
Yeah.
I've broke the cardinal rule
well, in
of
the van
van.
way, you're weak and you're a traitor to the you're a traitor to the crown.
Yeah. Is do
Yeah.
what you've heard about
Yeah.
with no thinking whatsoever.
Yeah. You're the bastard son of the vans because you didn't unfollow there.
With zero preparation, zero planning, and zero skill.
Yeah, I like that. It's a better way to live. Let's try this one. Yes, this is one of my new obsessions.
Yo, Dan. So Liver King's dead in like 10 years, right? I mean, if he keeps up the same, because there's no way you eat that much high fat, take as much steroids as he does, work out, get your heart just throbbing all day long, that much sun, and it's like same thing as like Nikocado Avocado. That dude's dead in 10 years, right? Like these social media personalities are just, they're pushing it all in and like it can't last forever, right? I mean, these guys are insane. Like I've been getting deep dive on the Liver King because you've been talking about him and that dude is bonkers. Love you, BDM for life.
Yeah, you named two good ones that I have been a little obsessed with. I'm less obsessed with Nikocado Avocado anymore because that's just sad.
Avocado will be dead before Liver King.
Yes.
And
I believe that too. Liver King, I think at least he's got doctors guiding his path, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
You
But
could-
I do believe he's on steroids. This is just me. And I do believe that you're not seeing a lot of what he does do. And I do believe that he eats more than just raw meat and testicles all day.
yeah.
I think that's fake.
And that's it's fine. Like he, unless he's on some absurd amount of steroids that's putting stress on his heart, and he's not, getting it from a doctor or like testing his blood to make sure it's not his testosterone levels not like above 1,500. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's when it starts putting stress on your organs. But if you keep it right, like he's not that big. He's not. He's in good shape and bigger than natural for sure.
Sure.
He's on some sort of T therapy. Well, everybody is. Every rich guy you see, Bezos, Rogan. Any guy that's over the age of 45 that you see has a good body is on T.
Yeah, they're like
He's on some sort of T therapy, but the thing is, people say steroids, and then they're like, no, I'm not on steroids, because that has the assumption that it's illegal and you're getting them off a street from some guy with a fanny pack that's at the
which is
Gold's Gym.
what they were saying to him. They're saying, are you on steroids? He'll dodge the question, and he won't say anything about it or really tell you what he's on. I've noticed
He's
lately.
on testosterone therapy, probably.
Liver King will not lean into that. He will not tell you his origin story. He won't give up the ghost. He'll just kind of like deflect and then tell you to buy his primal books and garbage.
And if he keeps his testosterone as if he was 18 and he works out a lot, he could be that big. I mean, he's not that much bigger than Seth. And Seth doesn't do any steroids. He's all natural.
I think also the videos that you look at him, like he looks a lot bigger than he actually is as a human. Like he's a
small guy though too. Seth is way bigger, like a bigger man. Like
Who
this
was that
guy's
guy
compact.
that we had that came in here, the wrestler, EC3, when he came in here, like that guy. He was cut and he was like big, but he was still a small man.
Yeah.
Like his frame was small.
When you see the guys that are ultra bodybuilders that it's insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I like the
competition
guys,
like that.
I like the muscle fitness guys that are so lumpy and vascular. And then they're usually like their shoulders are so big that they come up like almost to the top of their head, and they're huge. And then they usually have a chain over their neck. And then there's some hot girl with hard fake boobs, and they're both greasy. And he's like yelling into the camera, like I like those. That's what I like.
Yeah, that guy probably has some stress on his heart. All right, you know what I'm saying?
What is that supposed to represent? Just strength. And why is the girl there?
And we all, and including me, I don't understand biology enough, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the difference between.
Don't know much about.
Well, you could put stress in your heart and have a heart attack, but not have clogged arteries, right? So it's like, how Bilzerian had a couple heart attacks. Like that wasn't the heart attacks that the 50-year-old overweight businessman has. Like that is from eating too much French fries and saturated fat, and then he had a clogged artery heart attack.
Yeah.
I think Bilzerian had like some misrhythm heart attack from stress and over caffeine and like bad lifestyle and like probably the steroids used that
that last comment was for me, right? The over caffeine thing.
No, I'm just saying like it was probably a bunch of things that caused, but that once you fix that, then it's not like you have these clogged arteries that it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different heart attacks.
I think my caffeine intake, like I think I'm almost like, I'm like the snake handlers that have been bitten by snakes so many times that they become a snake. Like, I think I am a caffeinated person. Like, I think if you guys drank my blood, you'd stay up all night. Like, I feel like I'm not, like, because I can drink 5, 6, 7, 10
Is that fine? I don't know.
big bottles of Diet Mountain Dew, like in upwards of 1,200 milligrams
You're
of
not doing
caffeine
10.
a day.
You probably could, but you're.
I've done 10 before. I've done 8 to 10 before.
Yeah,
bottles.
that may be too much, but how bad is it? It's like if it was really bad, I feel there would be some sort of public service announcements about it and being like, "Hey,
It
don't."
just makes you barf. It just makes you sick.
Yeah, don't drink this much caffeine. It'll cause some sort of problem. But I mean, people are drinking 12 Diet Cokes a day, and then there was a joke about it, and no one said like, no doctors were coming out like, "Oh, that's real bad."
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
no one seemed to care that much, so it can't be that bad.
Let's do one more.
What's going on, dudes and chick? It's Big Rick, and I am listening to Daniel talk about how he's only had 3 jobs in his entire life. And it got me to thinking about, like, how many different types of jobs I've had in my lifetime. So, like, I used to be in gardening, I used to shape surfboards, I used to be an artist, bartender, I worked for quite a few bands back in the day, doing some gig work for them. And I started thinking, like, how many jobs have you seen one of your friends
take on in their entire lifetime? Or how many jobs have you seen one person just have in their entire life?
Well, the king of jobs around here was Butler. I'm not going to speak ill of him because he's not here any longer, and that's not a shot. I'm just saying, like that guy, there wasn't a thing that would ever come up in normal conversation where Butler didn't have a connection, or he was like, oh, yeah, I did that. Like, I rented sailboat equipment in the Hamptons. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, he's done a lot of things. Big Rick has done a lot of things.
When we were younger, like my buddy the Grizz always had the most jobs. And I'll say this, it's a broad stroke here, but if you are a person that has had a ridiculous amount of jobs, more than other people, it's a tell of something. You know, like, I don't know what it's a tell of, but it's a certain personality type that if you had...
My wife's had a lot of...
25 jobs. But
I was going to say that might be different now.
No,
I
but...
feel like people jump jobs more now.
Now, Andrea is different. There's two different type of people. Andrea has worked careers...
I didn't mean to mess up your equation by throwing her in there, but she is a different
This
vibe.
is different because if you work a career and you parlay that career into a different... it's like owning, 10 different houses. If you've made equity in each one...
She makes investments.
And you make, so she just moved from career to career, moving her way up, but it just happened to be different companies.
Yeah, I mean, they've always been better moves. Yes.
That's different in a similar
same vein
kind of job, not exactly the same, but in the the Venn diagram it overlaps. The Grizz was going from, just like Big Rick was talking about, shaping surfboards, to gardener, to bartender,
artist.
to artist, to a beer guy, to you're just jumping quantum leaping jobs, and that's a tell.
Who do you think's had the most?
Oh, dude, there are people that have, just go from job to job. They keep a job.
How many jobs have you had? Can you count them?
Yeah.
I can count mine on one hand.
Yeah, me too, basically.
Because we got in this early. So I had first job was soccer linesman. Second job was City Hall of DeLand. Third job was Ed Till. There we are.
Yeah, I did.
And then the rest were producing jobs. So if you want to count monsters, Ed, Drew, you can get me to 5.
I'll just do radio and then this. I substantial subs. Then next was Home Depot. And then I worked for Champ Sports with Foot Locker Corporation.
And then that was it.
And then
that was it.
And then Clear
What
Channel.
about you, Sam?
I think I've had 8 total.
Okay.
Yeah, that's normal.
That is.
We are on the other side of
weirdos,
abnormal.
yeah.
But then when you get into past 20, it's weird again.
You've done, so Sam, let me see if I can hit Sam's. We know Walgreens, JCPenney, right? Subway.
Oh, yeah. I forgot when you worked for JCPenney.
So we got JCPenney and Subway. JCPenney, man, the fact that you worked at JCPenney.
How long did you do Subway for?
I don't know, maybe a year.
All right, you give us the rundown. I think I can only get 3, and then I'll count this one.
What did they teach you first? How to bake the bread? How does that work?
Oh, yeah.
They teach you how to wash dishes first.
Oh,
stupid Subway.
You don't even get to run the line first.
Boo.
Is it dishes or it's the Crocs, right? That's all you're washing, right?
No, the slicers, everything.
Oh, yeah.
God.
The slicer.
It's dangerous.
I also had Macy's, Jason's Deli, Journeys.
Jason's Deli? I didn't know you worked at Jason's Deli.
Oh, Journeys.
That didn't last very long.
Oh, that's you're a shoe sister. We were friends with the Journeys people when we were at
shoe
Champs.
sister?
Dude, I worked shoe department in Journeys, JCPenney, and Macy's.
Yeah, she's a shoe gal.
Oh, yeah.
She knows her shoes.
Did you have to put on people's shoes?
That only happened maybe twice.
Because
I always liked it. I always thought that was the way you got shoes.
Well, like JCPenney, you put your foot out and
they lace it up like you're a king. I like that. I want to bring that back. I want to bring that back.
Yeah, no one does that anymore.
No, they don't. That's why the world sucks. Is you don't.
Even at Champs and we're talking early 2000s, you're still putting the shoe on. I don't think they do that anymore.
Now they just bring it
There's
out.
no employee
and the
there.
girl will come out and she'll be like, "We didn't have your size, but I brought 2. They're very close." And she'll set them down. And just set them down. I'm like, I have my foot out, ma'am. Ma'am, my feet are out. And I'm little, so I sit like this. You can see it. I'm little, so when I sit, my feet don't touch the ground, so I just stick them out like I'm a child. I'm like, "Ma'am, my feet are out, ma'am." Is anyone going to lace my... I used to like it because what they do is they would put that first long shoelace through, and they would loop it correctly so your shoes would be laced right when you got home. You know what I'm talking about?
I like it when the people would come to buy shoes and they had no socks. And
I had to put the booty on.
And now I worked in the back, so I rarely had to. But every once in a while, I was short staffed. They'd call me to run the floor.
Put a booty on this old lady's ugly feet.
and then they had this what looked like a tissue box filled with these tiny stocking style
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh God.
Yep. You know what? Save that little beauty for later.
Yeah. Bye bye.